Welcome to the Brandon Graham Show live from Cheeky's and Pete's in South Philly. Sponsored by Miller Lite. It's Miller time. Eagles fans, celebrate responsibly. This is a celebration time. Eagles! Pretty good to do this after a win, huh?
Oh, man, it's so much different, ain't it?
Did the Eagles win yesterday?
Yeah, we need something. Oh, stop it.
Oh, I know you was front and center to that one.
No, I listened to the radio. No, I'm okay with it. Listen to the radio and listen to the fans, and it's like, did the Eagles win that game yesterday?
Now I know where you're going.
Yeah.
No, I'm good with it.
Yeah. Midnight Green apologist over there on the other end.
I'm not apologizing for anything. You don't apologize for wins.
So BG, I said this a few times during the show today, and I know you're not going to answer, but I'm going to ask you 3 separate times. Is there any way we can convince you to play another year after this year? That was awesome. BG, another year at BG?
Hey, let me tell you, man.
Yeah.
Let's finish this year out.
Okay.
And I'll stay ready. I'll tell you that.
That's not a no.
I'll stay ready.
That's
just
not
for one
a no.
more year.
Look,
I'm going to stay ready.
Look, we love you enough. We're a 2-year retirement tour. We would have no problems with that, especially if you're going to play like you did yesterday.
Man, hey, if we go get that ring, baby, we definitely might be talking.
All right. So leading up to the game, the Saints, the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL, playing in New Orleans, which is a tough place to play. And your side of the ball, the defense, a lot of criticism last week, stopping the run and then getting to the quarterback. So you guys allowed 13 points, 3 yards a run. 12 points rather, 3 yards a run. What was different about yesterday compared to the previous 2 games?
Well, the first thing was, we wasn't out of our gaps. And then it was the attitude that you got to have when you're trying to stop the run. And I think people just didn't want that bad taste we had against the Falcons and even a little bit against Green Bay. Even though we won that game, we knew we gave up a lot of rushing yards. So these first 4 games, man, it really tests you as a team, as a defense, as a whatever during these times to see who you are, see what type of group we're going to be for the year. And I know we challenged ourselves all week. We had a good week of practice. A lot of it was people was just out their gaps trying to make other plays that wasn't theirs. And we was like, look, let's just make the plays that come to us and make sure you run into the ball. And we were swarming out there. I feel like the guys just believing in everything that we're doing.
Is there a certain thing that happens that when you guys start off well, that it kind of builds upon itself? Like that a confidence builds and a swagger builds even within a game? Can that happen? Yeah,
that happens. And that's what's happening now. We figuring ourselves out. Who is who? Chemistry is being built. Even though we have stuff in training camp, it's just nothing like live action. Now that we playing these games, we won one, the first one, but then we lost the second one. Of course, we made some mistakes, but it was a good learning lesson for us. And then this one, we knew what we was going into. They was going to try to run the ball because of what they seen us do the week before, and it was on us to get it, to put that fire out. And I think we did a great job. And it's just a start. I'll say that it's just a start. We got to stay consistent.
What did Vic Fangio do anything different? Kind of cut off the edges because Kamara, and then you had people when he turned inside, there was somebody there. Did he do anything different the way you played defense, or did the players just do a better job of what they were supposed to do?
The players just did a better job of what they were supposed to do. And I think we all knew that. When we looked at the film, you see guys out their gap, or maybe one guy is doing this, another guy is doing that, and it just bad timing of like trying to do your own thing sometimes. And that happens in the game, especially when you want to win, you press. And we don't have to do that. As a team, you don't have to press. We got to go out there and just have an attitude about what you do and love your role or what you do, and just go out there and with your effort to show me how much more you love it. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I don't know if a player can recognize if the intensity is the same. Atlanta was not as good a team. And then you knew you had 2 games on the other side, which are better. Do you think the players mentally didn't have the same intensity for last week as they did this week?
That's part of the game. You got to fight some of the stuff that, because ain't no easy wins in this league, as you know. A win is a win. Like just what you were saying, just about how if you listen to people, you would think, that we lost, but it's like make your mind up on what you want. You know what I'm saying? We out here building as a team, believe in your team all the way through, and we ride and live, and we live together, we ride together, all that. We gotta take the L's with the W's, but we gotta make sure we learn it. It's a good start of us coming back and coming back from learning from a hard game that we lost, and we could have tanked and not come out against a good team, because they're a good team.
Yes, they
You know what
are.
I'm saying? Like, don't get it twisted. We had to go out there with some juice, but I'm loving how we responded, because that's what we was talking about. It's like the league gonna hit you in the mouth sometimes, but how you respond.
Okay, so this is the last question from me right now. When you say you win as a team and you lose as a team, how much does that include the head coach?
I mean, he's the head.
Because everybody buries him now.
He's the head, man. I mean, people got to remember, we just went to the Super Bowl with him. Then on top of that, you lose coaches when you go to the Super Bowl. Then you gotta kind of rebuild. You gotta kind of rebuild a little bit. We got a good roster for sure, but I mean, I just think people being a little too tough, and it's going into the second year of, like, now he got a good core. Like, all the stuff is coming together. They see where they messed up on some stuff, and I just look at it like, man, you just got to make sure that you just ride. If you ride all the way through. And I know Nick is the man for the job, because, man, we wouldn't be playing for him the way we played for him yesterday to try to get this game. Of course, we want to win because we are winners on our team, but it's like it's different if we didn't like somebody or somebody was rubbing us the wrong way. I think he does a great job of, like, learning from his issues on what he didn't do good some years of being here, and then he get better every year. It's about getting better but the fans want what they want, but we got to be better on that. Like, just as much as we got to be better, fans got to be better too.
So two coaching questions actually off of that. One about Nick and then one about Vic. There are all different kinds of coaches. Some are, tough authoritarian guys. Some guys are, brainy guys, really into the X's and O's. How do players view Nick? What kind of coach is he?
Well, we love his energy. We love that we know where we stand with him as far as, how he celebrate with you. I mean, you want to coach what we doing it for if we're not out there having fun and expressing ourselves and being who we are as a person. I don't want to change him at all. I want him to be him. I'm like, man, if we're going to go out being us. And I'm going to be me in moments where I feel what's on my heart to do. And I hope you're doing the same. Like, fire everything that you got. Don't leave nothing behind, because at the end of the day, man, this your name that we playing for on top of the Eagles organization. But you are at the head. You the one that's gonna get top to first. If we go, he gonna rise, and everybody else rise too. But when he down, that's when everybody lose. But I know for him, I love how he's gotten better every year. He's always checking in with his leadership on the team on what he needs to do better, what we not liking, how we feeling as a team. Do we need to do certain stuff? I mean, we do a good job of communicating, and I mean, that's what you want with your coach, especially in the league, because people getting paid now. You got to have respect. I mean, sometimes in college, like it's a power hungry, because people trying to get here. But now, when you in the league, you got to give and take, and I think he does a great job of that. I think just even the relationship he got with Mr. Lurie and Howie, I think it all works out, especially when you're winning. And I think we're doing a good job of, especially this past game, of us hanging in there and playing complimentary ball. As far as when the offense not going, hey, our defense stepped up this time. And from last week, offense was doing. I mean, we just didn't get them in the end. But I know I ain't worried at all. I just know that Nick, we got his back, and people just need to not be as hard on him as they have been, because it's hard to win in this league, as you know.
Do you think Nick is a better coach today than he was 3 years ago?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, he was having fun with it, man. I mean, he's still on the inside having fun, but as a coach, you got to be calm, cool. You got to kind of bite down a little bit on some emotion. I love that he, just is him, and then he expressed himself well to us. And I'm telling you, people don't see a lot of behind the scenes stuff, but coach want to be great, and he want to do what he got to do every day get there. So it's about talking people up, not putting people down. And so we got to watch what we say about certain people because, you can definitely talk somebody down. But I know Nick for sure is putting his all he has in it.
One more on Nick. I think one of the difficult things for fans is when you have a head coach who isn't calling the offense or the defense, they're not entirely sure of what exactly his role is. Mm-hmm. So when they see the fourth down calls, which are definitely him, he choosing to go for it. I think this not a question as much as a comment. I think what happens is that fans, that's the only tangible thing they can look at on Monday that Nick did. Even though during the week, you see him every day in every practice and you know everything he's responsible for. But from a fan or even a media perspective, they go back and we try to assess the job that Nick did. And all we really have is, well, he went for it on fourth down here. He didn't go for it on fourth down there, and it didn't work. So he must have done a bad job. And I think that's what's challenging when you're a fan, especially with a coach that hasn't been here for. He's only been here a few years. It's not like Andy was here for a decade. I think they have that's where they struggle to figure out what exactly his role is.
Yeah, I get it. Everybody want to know everything, especially on what they watching and have answers for everything. All I can say is every week he hold himself accountable and he know where he messed up just as much as we got to hold ourselves accountable when we watching that film and know where we messed up for the team. And we get better every week, just like everybody in their job. You're not going you going out and trying to do a little extra to make sure that your boss is happy. And it goes the same for Nick. Nick don't want to have Mr. Lurie. We want to be high-fiving and doing all this, like everything that we worked in practice, it showed up in the game and we was ready for it. You going to have people that get paid too, that get you sometimes. But I know for him, he going to be aggressive. Hey, we with him all the way. But sometimes it ain't even on him. Sometimes we might have not even did something the right way as we practiced it, but he gonna take accountability for it, but it was the right call in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So it be a lot of that goes on and people don't know behind the scenes that Nick just take the head hit because he's the head coach and we not pointing no fingers, but when we in those meetings, we talking about for the next time, because it's gonna be a next time when he gonna go for it when he feeling it, and we gonna go out there and we gonna do it better than what we did the last time, and then when it worked, then we can talk about what happened the last time, because we always expose what happened and look what happened when we do it the right way. So it's always like that. That's why I say don't be so tough, because people don't know the whole story on a lot of stuff as you watch the game. But just know that, hey, this team care, and we don't want to look bad, and we got Nick back. And so, hey, stay with us.
When you mentioned the emotion that he has, a lot of fans say, oh, I'll use the word that they've used, clown, and he's too animated. And let me tell you something. I like to see emotion. I don't care who it is on a team, but it's not about me. And Andy Reid was the opposite, although quietly he has that emotion. How much do the players relate in a good or bad way to his emotion? I think you kind of touched on it.
Well, I just know people want to get patted on the back. People want to. Sometimes some coaches is so serious, and that's their personality. But I love for a coach after a good play. I'm out here juiced up, and he's juiced up too. And man, it's like, oh boy, you want to do it again. You want to get that same good feeling again. So I know, for me, man, that's a good sign when you got a good coach what we doing it for? We having fun out here, man, and I need that energy. You want us to be us and be us. I want you to be you and have fun and smile, and because we got the best job in America, man. Well, come on, we out there playing the game that we love. We love the X's and O's, the coaches. Everybody got roles that they can play, and you just got to embrace it and just be so happy to be a part of a team, especially a good team.
Just like you were juiced up when I was trying to do an interview with Zach Bond. You come over.
Yeah,
you went crazy.
Yeah, I had to make sure.
That's all right. It's okay with me.
He always talk. Y'all better do this. Y'all better.
Yeah.
So that's why I was. That's why you know how I do. I gotta hold you to your word just as much as you hold us.
All right. I'm okay with.
Got to hold them accountable. Got to hold them accountable.
Got to.
Yeah. One more coaching question. This one about Vic. So, new defensive coordinator this year. How long does it take? I guess there's not a real answer to that, but the idea of getting used to an entirely different system and knowing where you're supposed to be with this defense as opposed to previous defenses. Would you say that the defense as a whole is still kind of in a learning mode to exactly what Vic wants and where he wants it?
Oh yeah, the first year you always in a learning mode, but in our case, we don't have to. We got such a good team that we need to like not look at it like that. I mean, it's more about like let's just get on the same page, learn what we got to do, and let's practice it every day. And as the season go, we're gonna keep getting better with what we do. And so training camp, all off season has been good. Even when we first started learning what the new terminologies are of the same type of defense that we ran last year, but it's just more different because you got him, you got the man, and I think he does a great job of just holding people accountable. And then we got a smart team at that. And then he don't give you too much to where you got to think he wants you to be able to go out and play, but have different tools that you can use in different things. And once you game plan, I mean, he know how you think because in training camp, it's all about throwing stuff out there at you all the time to see how we process information, how we do and all that little stuff. And once we pass that test of that, then once we game plan, everything is condensed. And so it's just about people trusting each other out there and building that chemistry. It was a good little start yesterday, man. A lot of guys didn't like how we lost that last game, and we like, look, if we keep playing, we gonna end up losing games like that. So let's go out here, let's do what we know we can do, what we show in practice, and let's go out and be us. And we played with an attitude yesterday.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just one more Vic thing. So Vic said last week that because he was asked a question at a press conference about getting to the quarterback. And he said that getting to the quarterback starts with stopping the run.
Yes.
Can you explain, I guess, from a defensive perspective, exactly what he means by that?
Well, I mean, if a team feel they can be balanced by running and passing most of the time, and then if you can't stop the run, why would I want to pass or put my quarterback in a bad position? And if y'all can't stop the run, so majority of the game they're gonna run, and of course they're gonna get people their touches, but it's gonna be all quick stuff because you're gonna think run is coming. That's where play action come in, and that's where they take their shots. It just opens up so many different things that you got to worry about because you're like, dang, we ain't stopping the run. What's happening? And then as soon as you think that you got to do something else to make a play, that's when you do not your job on what you're supposed to do. You're doing somebody else's job, and then bam, that's where they hit us right there because now you pressing to stop the run and do somebody else's job instead of doing what you're supposed to do. You got hit with the play action. Now he threw it over your head because you went in the gap other than dropping back because I mean, man, when you not threatened by the run, you can easily see different things on the field because they got to pass the ball. And we haven't had a lead yet as far as like in the game, everything's been pretty close, but that's when we can really start opening up some things. But we got to make stops like we did yesterday. We got to keep that going because the offense is gonna get going, and when they get really going, I think that it's gonna serve us well to be in those hard games where the offense struggling, but the defense need to make a play, and I think we're gonna rise to the occasion because of how we started yesterday.
I know a lot of times the defense is obviously getting ready for the next series, but the last 2 minutes, and I'm specifically targeting the play to Dallas Goedert. Yep. Did you watch the play, or were you on the bench?
Oh yeah, we were watching the play as we was on the bench.
Okay, so I had somebody say to me today, well, they were lucky because the New Orleans players ran into each other. But that's a design, isn't that? I'm asking you.
They don't understand. See, that's the design.
Yeah, when
that's what's
they
so
practice
funny.
It's a design play, correct?
Yes.
Knowing that a legal pick, and that could happen by the way New Orleans playing defense. Am I wrong there?
That's the truth. That's the truth. We ran that a couple times
in practice.
No, in the game too.
Right.
But maybe it was on that time, so it wasn't as effective. But then they hit him with the man, and then that's what happened. You seen Jahan come through, then you seen who else? Paris, and then
it might have been
Paris. And that's what's the name supposed to do? He's supposed to make the one guy miss that's on him. Dallas and to get them trailing, and then somebody supposed to come up and do that. Like,
So it's designed.
It's
the
designed
point
like
is,
that.
Yeah, it's not like they were just lucky because they ran into
Boy,
each other.
people be so funny, but it's all good. Hey, we won the game. I'm happy. They don't need to know all that. If you want to be a coordinator, you better go learn some stuff. But I know people people don't know.
All right, we're going to take a quick break because, first of all, I know you're hungry, and Pete put a good plate of food in front of you.
Yeah,
So
he
if you're
always
watching on YouTube, we'll take some questions from YouTube. Please do not ask me to ask Brandon why a certain player is bad, because that's not going to happen on YouTube.
Right.
But we'll take some questions, and we'll come right back. There's a couple of plays I want to ask you about that were very important plays that you shined on specifically as soon as we get back. This is the Brandon Graham Show from Chickies and Pete's in South Philly, sponsored by Miller Lite. It's Miller Time, Eagles fans. Celebrate responsibly. Sure. All right, here we are at Chickies and Pete's. It's the Brandon Graham Show, presented by Miller Lite. Monty G in the crowd. So we're on YouTube now. BG, we got a question on YouTube from Brian. He said he was at the game. Did the defense, the Eagles fans in New Orleans sounded on TV loud? He wanted to know if you heard them while you guys were playing, if you were able to hear the Eagles fans in the crowd.
Oh, most definitely. We seen everybody because everybody had a lot of people had Kelly Green on, so there was a bunch of them in there.
Yeah,
and we definitely appreciate y'all because man, it was half and half for sure.
So 2 plays I wanted to ask you about that you were, first of all, you led the edge in snaps. You took more snaps than anybody, which is, by the way, why we need you back again next season. Just gonna put it out there. But the 4th down stop on Kamara, you were especially big in that because they looked like they had a double team on you that you blew up and allowed Jaylen Carter to get in there. Can you take us through that? It was a 4th and 1, I think it was, with Kamara where you guys stopped them.
Yeah.
You take us through that play and what happened?
Well, it was a good little tip that we had as far as, like certain stances that somebody had, like get in, it, gave away a little bit of where they was going. So it was cool to kind of go out there and know that. So I just knew I just had to get off the ball, and I couldn't believe they was running my way anyway. But it's like, it's cool. Like, you got to have an attitude out there.
Yeah.
And when I'm talking out there, that's what I'm saying. Like, you better go this way, you better go that way. And for us to make that stop together, man, that was everything. And, I just had fun doing my job, and it turned into that. And Zach Bond ended up pulling them back and made that stop.
So the other one was on the final Saints offensive play of the game, the Reed Blankenship interception. You were able to put pressure on Derek Carr that actually kind of forced him into a quicker throw and allowed Reed to come up with that. Was there anything special that happened on that play? Because, man, it's so cool to see you just played an entire 60-minute game and you still have the gas to do that on the final play. It was pretty impressive.
You know what, man? Just taking care of yourself. I mean, really, I know for me, just prayer, all that stuff, man. Like, just making sure I take care of all I can control. And I'm just enjoying every little thing. Whenever my name called, going out there, doing a little extra after practice just to make sure I'm in shape. Because I didn't know how much I was really gonna play. Because people can say that all day, but I guess Vic wasn't playing when he said this ain't no victory lap.
No, yeah.
This ain't no BG tour. You got to come play. I need you, and so I just want to be available for the team, help the team as much as I can, get people to their next level. Because I love how 90 and 9-8 is just getting started. I'm telling you, they working every day, they learning, they maturing, and stick with them because I know how that feel in the beginning of my career, and it didn't go so well. But now I know I believe in them. I tell them every day I'm proud of them because, man, you need to hear that. I'm trying to talk him up because I knew he got it in him. I seen it. I just want to make sure that he believe it, and just make sure you go out there, don't listen to nothing, because everybody wish they could be in your shoes. So make sure you go out there and do something with it. And so that's my message to them boys all the time. And I told them boys they should both be over here, demanding or commanding 100, at least in the middle, because y'all just that disruptive. So it's what they do with it, and like I'm gonna help them get there while I'm here.
Do you have incentives in your contract for percentage of plays? No, some players do that.
You should have.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
No, them days over with.
So they don't have it anymore. They used to have it, right?
They still do. They got escalators. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
You don't do that. You just want to get, you don't want to have all that because they play with all that stuff too. It's like you got to play a certain amount, a percentage of this, and then you get this bonus.
I think Douglas didn't play in the last game of the season one time. He needed something to get.
Yeah, Trent Cole the same way. Trust me, it's a way to.
They got pissed.
Hey, I'm telling you, when you get in that second contract and you got a good contract, that you don't talk about that. You just talk about the straight cash flow of what you're trying to get. Because all them escalators. going to the Pro Bowl and all that stuff, that might still hit like where if
Right.
you go to the Pro Bowl, All Pro, you get a certain amount, and that's cool. But the playing percentage, don't even play with it because at the end of the day, you know how that go. It's like, you know what? Hey, you put a young boy in real quick and give him some rest. He needs some rest. Trying to save money all the time. for
Well, if the
real.
last game doesn't mean anything, then say, we're just going to rest you a little bit, get you ready for
and
the
they
playoffs.
know, because they know, they watch all that stuff, boy. Because they let some people get it, like the younger guys. That it'd be cool to see when they up against
Right.
what they up against at the end of the year.
That's great.
You mentioned Jaylen Carter. He had probably one of the best games he's ever played yesterday in the NFL.
Man,
So what is the? I don't know if it's a hard question for you to answer. What is the difference? Why do we see a game like that from Jaylen one game and the game before? It's not the same thing. Like how does Jaylen Carter get to a spot where he is wrecking the defense like he was able to yesterday almost every game?
well, I think you got to be consistent in this league. But with him, he can do it. He can do it every game. But like I tell you, it's a little bit of him, making sure that he applying himself all the time. Just doing what he's doing what he do. Like I tell him, he a big rhino for real, and you got to believe that too. And I think he really believe that even more. Like, man, you could tear, like, this could be yours right here. You just got to go do it every day. And I know he believe in it, and I know he believed it before, but it's just like you got to show it with your action and what you do, what you doing at practice. What I think he maturing, like I say, just everybody's maturing and getting better every day, and because of who he around. I feel like us being on him, knowing how to talk with him. I mean, of course, you see, a little bit of, just him getting in his feelings sometimes out there and wanting to go crazy. We got to talk him down sometimes, but at the end of the day, I'm willing to help him get there because I know it means something to him because he come to work every day. He might not be perfect, but at the end of the day, I know that he gonna have our back when we out there. And you see what he did. You see what he did. So I'm just trying to make sure that he keep believing in it and keep him out of trouble. And like I said, he just maturing, man. Like that's all it is. Like just a young man trying to find his way in this thing. And he got a lot of passion for the game, and he got a lot of good people around him. So sometimes it's getting used to that because maybe it wasn't always like that for him. You know what I'm saying? So we just try to help him out as much as he can because this life, man, sometimes in football it's stressful, and we got a lot of expectations on and off the field, on the team, all that stuff, and so we just always try to be there for them, all that stuff, be there for everybody, because we all go through the same thing. We just need to talk more about it, and I think he's doing a good job of just letting go and going out there and playing. And so, man, I'm looking forward to what the future look like for him and Nano.
Did you see what was going on at the end of the game? He was
It was
going
Man.
crazy.
It was one of the
No, I know.
craziest
It was
things
one
I've
of the
ever
other
seen.
players,
I
right?
know. I know. That's why I say, like, he's growing.
Did one of the other players start giving him a little?
I don't know what all
crap?
went on. I just seen it this morning. I didn't know that all that had happened. I thought, remember when Slay had got hurt on the other side? But I didn't realize that had happened. So I just say that's part of the game, man. I mean, a lot of guys. I know for sure that he ain't trying to get us in no trouble. But sometimes it's just you gotta 50% of it. You gotta control yourself, and the other 50 is how we talk to him in those moments, like because you gotta control yourself because we can't do it for you, But I think he's getting there, man. He getting there. I know he's getting there. I just understand. Y'all see it. We just gotta keep getting there, man. Because at the end of the day, they learn, like yeah, they definitely learn for sure.
It was defensive line coach, and then Nick,
Yeah.
and then Dom,
Yeah.
and then
Dom was the only one bigger than he was.
yeah, but Dom couldn't slow him down either. I've never seen anything like
But
it.
he had that aggression, like
Yeah.
I like. But he took it out on everybody on that Saints team. I'll tell you that because he was running to the ball. Proud of him on that. But he gonna get better. He gonna keep getting better. Hey, I ain't. Like I told him, don't let it cost us, man. Just go out there. I love the passion, but we got to be able to talk you down, and then you got to be able to talk yourself down too. because 50% of it is you, and 50% of it, like I say, is how we bring it to you. Because we ain't gonna bring it with no disrespect, but it got to be a both, a mutual thing. Because we ain't trying to hurt you, we just trying to help you. Because we know it's all eyes on you, as y'all seen on them cameras.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Savage asked in the YouTube chat the hit on Devontae Smith
Yeah.
that knocked him out of the game with concussion. Did you think that was a fair hit, or do you think it was a dirty hit?
I just say the whistle should have been blown a little bit, before that. But like as a defense, I'm not gonna double talk. I'm gonna say this is what we taught to do: stand them up and everybody come get a shot at them, because that's what you want to do, to punish the ball carrier, and that's part of the game. And I understand that, but sometimes that happens too. Like you say, the play was almost over; they should have blew it, and it happened. I mean, Devontae definitely, you don't want to see nobody go through none of that, and you want to keep the game as clean as possible. But I feel like a little bit of it it should have been blown dead. It should have been blown dead a little earlier. And that's my take on it.
Yeah, it should have been a penalty too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's gonna get fined.
It's either helmet or shoulder hit his helmet. He hit his head. He snapped his neck.
Yeah, that's why I say, like, I'm sure he's gonna be fine, and it didn't help us in the game.
Right,
it definitely didn't help us. Well, it did, because the next play we was touchdown. But it just made us more mad. But at the end of the day, I thought it should have been blown dead earlier.
Well, the game for a defensive player, especially now, seems particularly difficult because of you're going as hard as you can to hit somebody hard. And when we watch replays, especially with late quarterback hits, the guy throws it, the guy hits him, and then there's a penalty. But in real time, when you're running as hard as you can, you must sometimes probably not even see the ball get thrown or hear the whistle get blown as well. It must be really hard as a defensive player to be that aggressive and then have to pull back quickly at the end.
I mean, because some people, big boys, and like, man, you done made me get this far. I'm going all the way. But you know what? That's the risk you take in the game. Sometimes you get away with it. Sometimes you don't. But I just know you do got to have a mindset. But you don't want to be considered dirty and always don't feel like you can control yourself. You got to have some type of control about you in your game, because of course you can't hit nobody that's not seeing. I mean, that you, when you're not looking, you got to really watch yourself on helmet to helmet contact, because sometimes the quarterback or somebody would duck their head as I'm coming already in this strike zone in his chest, and then it's a helmet to helmet hit. And I mean, that's a mistake, but that happens in the game. So it's a lot of stuff as defenders you got to be able to maneuver and find a different technique on how you tackle, because some people used to just dive and put their head down. I mean, you gotta have good technique in this league. I mean, the good teams really do, and the good players really do. They master their technique and what they learning every day, what they doing the individual drills and all that stuff. Because man, when you out there, I'm out there trying to get you, but I do understand my limits too.
It's that field, and that had nothing to do with the field. I don't think Lane Johnson had anything to do with the field. Becton had nothing to do with the field.
Nope.
However, Covey did. It's just something about that field, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, what happened with Covey with that?
His shoulder, when he got on the pass, he was tackled and he came down on his shoulder, so it's a shoulder injury. We'll see how long he'll be out, but
things like, we'll see.
So it's not. I mean, it's just something about that field, and most of the injuries had nothing to do with the field, but I just don't like that field. And and artificial surfaces aren't good for players anyway, but it's never going to change, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, if every field could be like the Eagles field, boy, it's something about that grass, how they do it, man. It's like, man, they got it mastered.
Yes,
it's a good feeling for the players, for sure.
Exactly.
But you know what? I think we'll get there. I'm gonna stay hopeful.
Bryce Huff is struggling. I think he only played 18 snaps yesterday. You, as a vet, been here for a while, had struggled a little bit early in your career as well. Do you talk to him? What do you say to somebody like Huff, who came in with such big expectations and is not living up to them yet?
Stay focused, stay working. Don't worry about what ain't happened yet. You still getting opportunities out there. Just go out and make your plays when they come. It just didn't happen. These first 3 games, like people wanted, it's gonna be tough when you got that target on your back with that contract. You know how I go. But I know for him, this is to his defense. Coming out of a different scheme from like the 4-3 and then learning the new stuff from this year from a 3-4, first time really doing this. But I think he's doing a great job, man. You see him in practice. You see him doing his thing, winning. I mean, he's got chip more than anybody. I mean, people don't see a lot of the stuff that happened on the side. I mean, on the field. They just, dog you because of your I don't see no stats or whatever,
Right.
or you didn't show up anywhere in the game. But I'm telling you, stay with us, because it's a team thing. Huff is just as a part of this team as everybody else, and his impact and what he does for this team, is definitely don't go unnoticed. And I mean, he got a lot of people, a lot of guys that he mentor and help out and give away. I mean, give some of his knowledge too. And I'm telling you, like Bryce it's gonna start happening for him because I see it every day, and I just know that Bryce ain't get here for no reason, and I know Bryce still believing in himself. He ain't saying nothing. He just taking it because he know it's gonna come. And when it come, I hope he don't look back at all and don't even worry about it because all is forgiven.
How much can you tell in practice whether a player is going to be good? And I'm not talking about Huff because you don't play against him; you play with him.
Well, I see him.
But right, you see him.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about Johnson came in for
we
Lane
knew.
Johnson.
Oh yeah.
Could you tell in practice that Nick said a lot of good things about him today at his news conference, but he played really well yesterday. Can you tell in practice that he was that kind of player?
No, I knew Fred was getting better every year. I mean, Fred been here for like what, 3 years? 3 years now?
Something like that.
Yeah, and Fred, man, funny. I mean, got a good personality for the locker room. I mean, love football, waiting his turn whenever. Well, always got his attitude about himself, talking stuff to us. I mean, I just, man, I love the personalities of this team, and I love seeing guys get the opportunity like Fred did and Steen, because I mess with Steen too. Steen worked his butt off all off season. He just got hurt in training camp and all that stuff, but I was happy for him too, to get that opportunity again, to show that he available whenever that moment come again too. But man, I think they do a good job on Thursdays of relieving like Lane and them. So this wasn't the first time they all was paired together, because Lane and you got Landon and them, they take their little breaks.
Right.
But Steen and them get them reps, and them reps they took advantage of them. And because when they went out there, it didn't look like a drop off at all.
Okay.
They was running the ball
In the huddle, C.J. Gardner-Johnson is nuts, but in a good way when he's playing football.
Yep.
He's got it. In the huddle, does he have a lot of mouth, or is he, kind of got to wait for whatever you guys are setting?
Well, you know
setting
what,
up for defense?
he definitely brings a swagger about himself with it. Like he want to go out there and impose his will on people, and you got to as a defender, you got to not flinch on stuff that happened in the game. Like when we got the punt block, all that stuff, we went out there and we went and we did what we were supposed to do. I was happy because I didn't even know it was Nolan. They got it blocked. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know what happened, but when you see it, in the film, you learn. You be like, okay, hey, next time make sure you do this. Next time you got this. Like you learning. But I was so happy the way we handle sudden change moments, and I think that personality goes well with, come on, y'all, let's get it. Like because he's still gonna be him even in that moment. So you kind of get a calmness about yourself. But I like it, man. I like it. You gotta have that fire.
He seems like a lunatic, honestly.
Yeah.
From the outside.
Every time I see him, he seems like a lunatic.
Yeah. In a good, well, look, as long as I'm not on the other side of the ball, it's good to see a crazy guy out there on defense.
You see how he feeling them hoes right now,
Yep,
man.
yep.
Hey, I can't even.
Yep.
Hey, keep doing you.
Yep.
Keep doing you. Just keep being CD. That's all I want. I don't want nobody to change. I just want us to be responsible on knowing the rules and knowing how far we can go, especially if you go there sometimes.
A quick scheme question, I guess, and maybe I hadn't noticed it previously, but it looked like you guys were putting a linebacker on the line, had 5 on the line yesterday more than in previous games. Was that happening more? And is that an attempt to stop the run? What is the reason for doing that?
Well, it's a little bit of, just about. You're gonna have to ask Vic that question.
Okay, all right.
Ask Vic.
Okay, all
I
right.
ain't even gonna mess with him.
You thought about it.
I thought about it, but I'm like, you ask Vic that one.
Okay. So the Phillies are playing right now, can clinch the National League East. The playoffs start next week. When that's going on, when there's excitement for another team in town, do you guys feel that, and do you think that's emotion and sort of vibe that you guys can ride off of?
Oh yeah, it's a good feeling when the city's on fire like that. As far as these last couple of times being able, man, it wasn't nothing like that first time 2 years ago where I was like, woo!
Yeah.
Got to throw a pitch out there with some really good guys. Man, it was a good time. And it's a good time to be able to take your family out and have a good night. You know what I'm saying? When playoffs coming, so I hope they clinch tonight.
Do you ever take a peek? Not that you might see the game because you're playing at the other teams. Minnesota all of a sudden looks like it. Have you seen any of that? Their defense must be really good.
I say 34-7. I say, what's going on here?
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold out here throwing 4 touchdowns. I say, dang.
But one of the Eagles coaches, I forget which one, told me their defense is hard to play against because they've looked at, I guess they're probably playing a team that they might, and their defense is hard to play against. They might be a pretty good team.
Yeah, every year it always be like that, don't it? It's always somebody
right.
that wasn't as good as they was probably, and then now they finally got they footing again. But Minnesota definitely at one point had it going, and then they lost it a little bit. But then it's cool to see because I guess that running back pickup too was a good one because I don't know why they let Aaron Jones go. With the Packers, but it's cool because they got Josh Jacobs and he's been doing all right this year too. But the way we watch it on film, it's like that boy is downhill and he fast.
Well, the thing is, in the NFC, the AFC, it's not as important.
Yeah,
tiebreakers, and it's early to worry about that. But that could be tiebreakers because that division, I'm not so sure Detroit's everything that people thought they're going to be good, but maybe not as good. So
I forgot they in that with the Bears, right?
Yeah,
Bears, Lions, and Packers.
Right? And I don't think the Bears. It's just everybody's all excited about the Bears. Stop. Stop, please.
They got a good quarterback, but.
Yeah, but when you got to throw 50, I think he threw 52 passes yesterday. That's just too much.
I think it's more like they might have need old linemen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you see that.
Actually, about Sam Darnold, as quarterbacks have now come in and maybe started earlier, is there something that is going on either with them starting so quickly or something different with college offense that seems to make them almost less prepared earlier in their career? It seems like it's taking quarterbacks longer to get good in the NFL. And the Darnold, Baker Mayfield thing, Geno Smith even was another quarterback that came in highly touted, and it took him a while to figure it out.
Yeah, sometimes it's who you work with. Sometimes you got coaches that are just trying to get their foot in the door, and you just happen to be the quarterback that we took at that time. And
right,
and I'm your boy, and I want to hook you up, and I know that's your dream, and you finally get a chance, and maybe it just wasn't a good chance because a guy like that needed this guy because the type of guy he had success with was a more hardcore guy that was on him about stuff, and maybe you're not as hardcore as the other one was, and you kind of let stuff kind of slide when he don't need that. Like it's so much different stuff, even with the Derek Carr. Like I'm sure he had this, like he got a good coach right now where he's playing at a high level. Of course, they just had this type of game. You're gonna have that in the league because when people know what you're gonna do, and you know we work just as much as they work, it's the same thing. You have your day sometimes, but it's all about who you're working with, and sometimes these top guys that's coming out the league going to teams that lost last year and wasn't as good, and maybe they still ain't found the coach that they needed to be able to work well with a guy that they bringing in. I mean, or you might think it's a fit and it might not be. Personalities might not match once the losing and start happening in the game, and you know the frustration start happening. I see how you are on a day-to-day, especially how you take a week-to-week loss, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
or a win, depending on how it goes for you. But you know, you learn a lot with your team, man, when you take L's. And that's what I like to see, the adversity and how we're gonna come back from it. And as we gonna start making up stuff because everybody like not believing in what you talking about. You know what I'm saying? You gotta believe in the dream, and we gotta die by the dream. And we gotta make sure that we working every day towards that dream. If we say we believe in it, hey, even though they might have got us this one, but come on, keep getting stronger, keep building it, keep working. I believe in this. And that's what you got to do when you get new people in, man. You got to get people believing, because as soon as they get a little hint of somebody not knowing what they doing, then now here come the doubts, and then here come everybody grouping up and, trying to get ready for the next job, you know what I'm saying? Or get ready for like who gonna come in, because this he ain't it, and they start spreading that little stuff, man. It's like, let's just believe in it, because we got this the only year that I got guaranteed to play, as far as for me, because I only got a 1-year deal on my contract, so it gotta happen this year. I'm all in, but I need everybody else all in. So that's what be happening sometimes with these quarterbacks coming in, man. It'd be a lot of stuff that went on last year that still carry over into this year. And I mean, I hope a Bryce Young get right, with a new coach, new everything, because I mean, Carolina looked good with, they won the game with Andy Dalton. It didn't look too good for Bryce, but I'm saying, like, sometimes it's who they working with.
Why can't everybody play like it's the last year?
Get tired.
Well, but there's a different mentality if you play it like this is your last one, rather than, well, I got 2 years left on it. It's just, and it's every sport. It's not just football. It's every sport. But I don't know why they just can't play like that. But it's the life of an athlete.
Well, BG, a great win yesterday. Just an outstanding performance from the defense. I can't think of a more dominant and also at the same time like shocking defensive performance that you guys had. Well, I think the entire city was terrified about going into New Orleans, especially considering. And it was great to see you not only playing well and playing a lot, but after the game, you were fired up, man. I saw it. Yeah.
I was juiced up because I knew it was doubt going into that.
There was
from fans, but I knew that the way the team responded during the week, like that's when like, give myself a chance by how we practice. I mean, how we do little things as far as, all right, we had a lift today. How serious did we take it?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't have no days off. I mean, every time we get to work, let's work. But then when we get home, hey, make it about home. Do what you got to do. But when we in this building, come on, y'all. Like, all it takes is us on the same page. And when we get in the war together, if we on the same page, we're going to give ourselves a chance every time.
Let's go to Tampa, get another one next week, all right?
Yeah, let's get it.
All right, there it is, the Brandon Graham Show. Presented by Miller Lite. Can we do one more of these? E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! There we go. Thanks, BG.